Good evening and welcome to 5 News with me, Sian Williams.
And me, Tessa Chapman. Our headlines tonight: the Chancellor raises the national insurance threshold and cuts fuel duty.
From 6 o'clock. Hello and welcome. On the day that inflation hit a 30-year high, when everyone's feeling the effect of higher food and energy bills, the Chancellor stood up in the Commons and told us to prepare for it to get worse, potentially significantly. That was the sober backdrop to this afternoon's spring statement. Not quite an autumn budget, but with some changes that you will feel in your pocket from tonight, like fuel duty, which will be cut by 5p a litre. Rishi Sunak didn't scrap the planned national insurance rise, as some had hoped, but he did increase the threshold when people start to pay it. The headline grabber, though, was kept for the end, an income tax cut of 1p in the pound, but we'll have to wait. With all the details, here's our political editor, Andy Bell. Let's bring you some more of today's news now. And Lloyds Banking Group has announced it will shut 60 branches across the UK as more customers switch to online banking. It's only been 2 months since Ash Barty was crowned Australian Open champion, winning her 3rd Grand Slam title. So her announcement today that she's retiring from professional tennis came as something of a shock. The world #1 said she wants to chase other dreams. But as Jay Akbar explains, it's not the first time she's stepped back from the sport.
It's 5:30, and let's remind you of our top story.
I'm joined now by our panel of experts. We've got Paul Johnson, Director of the Institute for Fiscal Studies, Lindsay Judge, Research Director of the Resolution Foundation, joining me in the studio here, personal finance expert Jasmine Birtles. Welcome to you all. Jasmine first. What difference do you think these changes will make to people who are struggling right now?
Very little, sadly. I'm sorry to say, very little, because I was really hoping that he would pull something out of the hat and produce some sort of help for now. Some of the things that he suggested will be for later. I mean, reducing the income tax, it's not until 2024, which is, feels like eons away, honestly. There has been extra money given to councils, essentially, to give emergency support to people who are struggling. And that's something that I'm going to be looking into, because there are certain things you have to do to qualify for that. But in all honesty, other than that, and the 5p off a litre of petrol, very, very little, I think.
Paul Johnson, did he have much wiggle room? Was there much that he could have done to the income distribution? How does that work then? Is that because of the 5p fuel cut, which might benefit people who are travellers, commuters?
Well, it is, yes, certainly. The Office of Budget Responsibility said that we're seeing as big a fall as we've seen since 1950, just after the war, in the way we can spend. And yeah, this is, as we've just said, it's hitting the poorest hardest, and that's the tough side. I mean, I agree with Sunak that we need to look to the future. I am keen. I do think that he has missed a trick today.
Paul Johnson, we heard from the Treasury Minister, Lucy Fraser, a little earlier, £500 million and an increase in housing allowance. The fuel cut will mean £100 a year if you own your own car, and eventually 2 million people taken out of tax. She was quite bullish, I guess, understandably, when she was talking about the statement today, saying it will affect a lot of people. But from what you're seeing, your independent analysis, that's not the case. Looking ahead to April, we've got a national insurance rise, although the threshold has been raised. And this is going to hit people very hard. And of course, we've got the energy bills going up as well. They'll go up further. Should there have been something like a windfall tax on the energy giants who are earning billions at the moment? What should people do?
Very good point. I think anybody who's struggling, this is what I'm saying, and I've been saying this for a while, go straight to one of the debt charities. There are some marvellous debt charities around Step Change, obviously Citizens Advice, Community Money Advice, Christians Against Poverty, and also try the benefits calculator on turntous.org.uk. It's a very helpful website because they also have access to grants, free money that potentially all sorts of people could have. So I do that. And also now, definitely go to your local council because, hey, they've got some more money and it's probably more